I'm in Motegi, Japan at the Honda Collection Hall. This is probably the greatest collection of Honda vehicles from the beginning of the company till modern day. So I'm gonna give you guys my top vehicles here at the Collection Hall here outside of Motegi Raceway. This is where it all began for Soichiro Honda during the Second Great War. He used a canteen for a gas tank, eventually used a green tea canister to feed the engine on a modified bicycle. That's where his genius started. The first instance of the Honda Cub name. Now we went from a belt drive like we saw before, chain drive, and look at it, they still kept that canteen philosophy with the original prototype. And look at that, made in Japan. Soichiro had a declaration here that he was going to compete in racing. And it started with this motorcycle right here. We even have a 4-cylinder one. And this was the first bike he won first place in with the 2RC 143 back in 1961 in the Isle of Man TT race. Now we're to the collection of Super Cubs. Honda has revived the Super Cub in the United States. We have, well, a bunch now. The DAX 125 just got announced, but it all started off with a Super Cub. Soichiro Honda wanted to advertise motorcycles to women, and it's a clutchless system. It's all activated through the throttle. These wings in the front were to protect the pants so they don't get bugs on them. And I would say he was pretty darn successful. My daughters and I even watched an anime, modern day anime based off Super Cub, and it was focused around young girls learning how to ride on a Super Cub. We got some CTs back there which live on today in the US market too, with the CT 125 and the Trail 125. Now for me, I'm a huge motorbike lover. As you guys know, I've been sampling motorbikes this year. This is the CB750, one of the most iconic 4-cylinder motorbikes ever made. How could you not find these cute monkeys super adorable? The monkey lives on today, but they're much bigger than this. 49cc, that's kind of what the original Super Cubs were as well. Now this is 125cc in America, much bigger bike. Only producing about 2.5 horsepower. They now produce around 10 horsepower with a much larger engine. Yes, Honda's done agricultural. I don't know how much they're in it nowadays, but generators, an outboard motor. Outboard motors are a big part of Honda's business in North America to this day. Now, we have quite a few small vehicles as well, but other journalists are getting their hands on them. Look at this guy, N360 back in 1967, 354 cc's, a whopping 31 PS, a little bit less horsepower, a screaming 8,500 RPM all the way back then, and maybe giving us a little bit of a taste of something to come later like the S2000, all right? Man, imagine if we got those cute trucks in America. This is now in the 70s. I thought this was absolutely fascinating. So Soichiro had a dedication to air-cooled engines and even engineered a dual air-cooled engine. And this was his last attempt before his engineers finally convinced him to go water-cooled. All right, if you guys want to pause to learn more about the DDAC, go ahead and do that. It did not live very long. But we're now to the 100 PS mark, and that's probably a pretty crowning achievement for an air-cooled engine back then. Now here we have the CVC-C engines. This beat the EPA Clean Air Act regulations ahead of time by a couple years. They were the first ones to do it. And look at these pieces of art. Inline 6-cylinder motorbike. This is a CBX, came out in the late 70s. This thing was an absolute screamer. Didn't make a ton of power. As you can see down here, such a big engine, 9,000 RPM, a little over 100 horsepower, but again, air-cooled, over 1,000 cc's. Put that in perspective, a modern 1,000 cc super bike from Honda can produce 200 horsepower, all right, with just 4 cylinders. So really, really cool sounding engine. Go ahead and look up on YouTube what these things sound like. There's very few vehicles ever made that sound like this CBX. Absolute beautiful example here. Now, Honda just revived the spiritual successor to the Moto Compo, the Moto Compacto, which is fully electric. It can fold up like a briefcase, be put into any car. But the Moto Compo came out as a portable scooter that fit in the back of this Honda City back in 1981. Unfortunately, I don't think we ever got the Honda City in America, but you can find these Moto Compos. They brought these in, absolutely. Now there's a tour going on, so I'm gonna have to be very quiet, but here's a beautiful CRX, long live it, that pocket rocket hatchback. Honda today, which we did not get. And this is Honda's very first, they're first to the market with a nav system. Check that out. That looks like it's from out of a 1950s sci-fi movie with that first ever navigation in a car. Now we're getting to the really fun stuff. Welcome the Honda Legend. We know it in Acura in North America as the Acura Legend V6, longitudinally mounted and front wheel drive. Very few cars are like that. I believe Audis are still like that, but Audis of course have all-wheel drive. Honda Legend never got that. I think in the last iteration, which was the Acura RLX, it was a sport hybrid with all-wheel drive, but back then, just front wheel drive. The Accord Aero Deck we never got in America. This vehicle will look very familiar to a lot of you. This thing tore up the streets of Europe. Fortunately, we never got something this incredible looking in North America. And I wish Honda would bring back the pop-up headlights. It was such a beautiful thing back in the 80s and the 90s. But yeah, check that out, the Aero Deck. Oh, it has me salivating. It's one of my favorite examples here. And the look here of the Legend, just beautiful. These interiors, well, I'm not gonna touch the cars, but I love that brown cloth. Classic. Now we're getting into some of the 90s here. Late 80s, 90s motorbikes. Africa Twin, they brought back the Africa Twin. I love the coloring here. Here's the first ever Fireblade 900cc 4-cylinder. Look how much power this is producing, 124 PS back in 1992. Just a piece of history right here for motorbikes. And then we look at the NSXs, and I'll let these guys finish. The NSX, the supercar from Japan that changed everything. And then we have the Type R, just absolutely beautiful. And the Championship White. Championship White is still used today in vehicles like the Civic Type R, to my recollection. I love the red seats in there. We'll see this white and red combination here a little bit with some more examples, but just absolutely beautiful with the NSX. Now, look at these NSX race cars, Super GT. This one here, I think, is one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen. Yes, it's racing specific, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if race cars nowadays are that pretty, but let me know which one you like better. This Super GT or this NSX from 95. Love the wheels. Now these are gonna look familiar to some of you guys. Check out this JDM CRV here, 1995. The dead giveaway that it's JDM specific is that we have this, little mirror here that allows vehicles like this to navigate the front end of the vehicle in tight Japan alleyways and small streets. Here's a little information. The Odyssey is made in 2 places in the world still. In Japan, they get the Odyssey made out of China and it's imported into Japan. It's a completely different van compared to our Odyssey built in America. Got some beautiful motorbikes here. That scooter back there, the PS250, 2004, looks like it could come out today. It kind of reminds me of BMW's modern concepts for scooters. The thing looks absolutely incredible. All right, this might be some of the most exciting stuff for you guys. Pristine example of an S2000 right here. And then look at these Type Rs. Integra Type R. Got the red seats, the white wheels, just absolutely beautiful. I don't think I've ever been this close to one, limited slip diff. I haven't been this close to one in person, so this is a great experience for me. I've raced this vehicle 1,000 times on video games growing up, as well as this, the hatchback Civic Type R. I think I like this over the Integra. I'm a sucker for hatchbacks. Stunning. All right, we got some more gold wings. This thing, the DN01, I don't know if I've ever seen one before. It looks like a concept motorbike. If you guys want to read more about it, go ahead and pause there. VFR with the dual clutch transmission. V4, Honda discontinued the V4 a few years back. Another gold wing here with the airbag demonstration. Honda was the first to produce crash test dummy with sensors to make their cars safer. More F1 stuff. Sorry, I don't cover the F1 Honda stuff. It is well beyond my knowledge and expertise. I wouldn't even say I'm an expertise of anything in here, but I'm just a big fan of most of the production stuff Honda did. So we have the Honda Insight here. Hybrid, of course, one of the first hybrids on the market, actually the first mass-produced hybrid on the market. And this one is equipped with the manual transmission. Will Honda bring back the manual transmission for the upcoming Prelude hybrid? I highly doubt it. Here's their first fuel cell, FCX. That's a funky looking vehicle. And then the good old Honda Fit, first generation, rest in peace Honda Fit in America. I've seen quite a few since I've been here in Japan this week. And that kind of sums up the automobile and motorcycle end. And then Honda's just like, hey, you know, they're just throwing stacks right now with the Honda Jet here. This is quite a replica, very, very beautiful. And then I think I'll finish today's video with showing how foolish I looked in these autonomous wheelchair things. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more Honda coverage. I am here in Japan not for this museum review. I'm here to drive something for the future of Honda, and I'll be sharing that at a later date. Go and put the Bargo on this screen. I don't think I can say exactly what I'm here to drive quite yet, but I can share when I'm going to be able to share. So make sure you're subscribed. I'll catch you later. Bye.
More like a support for
Say hi.
Turbocharged car, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
6 kilometers per hour.
まだリースだけですね。はい。なので通常でいつでも乗れるのってここしかね。イベント